morning, dear students. Today I will explain you about the charges and properties of charges. In general, when we deal with properties of charges, charges are positive and negative. These charges may have some attractive or repulsive properties. Like charges always repel each other and unlike charges always attract each other. Now we have to understand the concept that charges are scalar by nature. When charges are scalar by nature, they can be added only by simple algebraic methods. They cannot be added by any of the vector methods. So all the charges generally show the additive property and this algebraic additive property because charges are scalar by nature. Now I have explained you that when the bodies are rubbed together, work is done to overcome friction. The charges are generally transferred. What is the reason behind that? The only reason behind that is the nature that is shown by the conservation. Generally, when bodies are rubbed together, the charges which one body will have more affinity for positive charges, another body will have less affinity for positive charges, and in that scenario all the negative charges will be transferred from one body to another body, but charges can neither be created nor be destroyed and they can be transferred. This is the third property of charge, and accordingly charges exhibit a nature of conservation. Now charges can be quantized. What do we understand by quantization? It is a quantization condition which is exhibited by charges. Here charges cannot be transferred in fractions, but they can be transferred as integral multiple of the basic elementary charge. What is a basic elementary charge here? Here the smallest possible basic elementary charge is only electron. The value of that basic elementary charge electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So when the charges are transferred from one body to another body, they are always transferred in form of a quanta, and that quanta equals to plus minus of any. It is plus minus of any because the charges, the body which loses the charges will have to gain positive any, and the body which gain the charges will become minus any. This property is called quantization. Now, do you know about discrete and continuous charge distribution? Yes. Here we are dealing with microscopic and macroscopic concept of physics. In microscopic, we are having the charges very close to each other, and in that part when charges are considered to separated by a distance d, they are called as discrete distribution of charges, and generally this takes place in microscopic physics, and this distribution can be there if charges are separated by a distance d. Suppose we are having two charges q1 and q2. Then these q1 and q2 are separated by a certain distance, and always if they are positive charge there will be force of repulsion, and if they are oppositely charged there will be force of attraction. This force of attraction is already expressed as by a Coulomb's law, and that force F is equal to K q1 q2 upon r square d square. D is actually the distance between the two charges. This thing you have to keep in mind. This force can be attractive if charges are opposite. This force can be repulsive is if these charges are having one positive, another negative. Here 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 is a constant of proportionality which is represented as K, and its value is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. Now we can continue like that. The next scenario, we are having continuous charge distribution. Now, continuous charge distribution, when we are dealing with, the charge distribution can be of three types, and this generally continues in macroscopic physics. Macroscopic physics, when large number of charges are moving or are placed continuously near to each other, we cannot exhibit a discrete nature, so we can consider a continuous nature, and this continuous charge distribution can be of three types. That three types of charge distribution can be accordingly one dimensional, two dimensional, and three dimensional. Now, what is one dimensional, two dimensional, and three dimensional? When we are dealing with one dimensional, it will be for line charge. When it will be two dimensional, it will be for plane charge. And when it is three dimensional, it will be for volume charge. Now, accordingly, we are having three types of charge distribution: linear charge distribution, surface charge distribution, and volume charge distribution. Accordingly, we are having three types of charge densities: linear charge density, surface charge density, and volume charge density. But one thing what you have to keep in mind, this charge distributions should be very unique and should be uniform. When charges are uniformly distributed, then we can have linear charge distribution on a line charge. When these charges are uniformly distributed on a surface, we can have surface charge distribution, and when it is distributed on a, it is volume charge distribution. Now you see, these three charge distributions can have three densities: linear charge density, surface charge density, volume charge density. Linear charge density is represented as lambda, surface charge density is represented as sigma, and volume charge density is represented as rho. As per the densities and as per the space provided, we are having three formulas. We are having three formulas for that, and these three formulas are there. That means linear charge density can be expressed as charge per length, that is coulomb per meter, and the dimensional formula for linear charge density becomes m0, L1, T1, and a to the power 1. Accordingly, we are having now surface charge density. I have already told you charges are to be uniformly distributed on our area. Accordingly, sigma equals to Q upon A, and that will be coulomb per meter square, and its dimensional formula will be m0 L minus 2 T1 A1. Then we are having next, there is volume charge density. I have already explained you charges are to be uniformly distributed on volume. So rho will be equal to Q upon V, that will be coulomb per meter cube, and its dimensional formula will become m0 L minus 3 T1 A minus A plus 1. All these densities we have to utilize in the next derivations which we are going to do. So they are very, very important. Thank you for